Hello everybody and welcome back to our Viking Invasion Welsh campaign. This is Count MRVHS with episode 2. And we just completed the conquest of all of Wales in the last episode, which was also the first episode. And so today we just are doing a little more building and teching up. So the goal for this campaign is going to be to basically tech up to our best units before we do any expanding, unless it looks like we really need to expand in order to survive. We only have one agent currently. We've got one daughter, princess, who is just moving around and keeping an eye on the state of the rebels on the southeastern part of the map. Typically, once these get eliminated, you can expect the other factions to go to war, either by attacking us or by fighting amongst themselves. But we also want to keep an eye on the Vikings. They haven't been showing any conflict with any factions yet. In fact, they've been making allies, and it looks like a fairly peaceful game for them. And for everybody so far, but I expect that will change maybe in this episode. So what we're doing, again, this is a bit of a turtling campaign, and this is it's really a dice roll, you know, because it all depends on what the AI is going to do. It's certainly not the optimal way to play, but I find it more tense and exciting. Honestly, it's certainly more of a challenge, and if we get eliminated quickly, well, we had a good sort of a fun, first look at the campaign at any rate. So we're going to be doing a bit of building here in Powys, which is our most developed settlement here. Interesting thing about this, it does have a bit of sea frontage, and so we could build a port. Now, it doesn't have any trade goods. It does have silver deposits, so we can do, you know, some good income through mining here, but there's no trade goods anywhere in any of our provinces, so it's all going to be just mining and those native resources. But a port could be useful in allowing us to transport our troops quickly just about anywhere. And since this is in a lot of ways going to be the place where we're going to be training our best troops, we may want to build that port eventually. But what I want to do right now is get going on a brothel, because this is going to allow us to train spies. I just love the names of these: Stew, Body House, and you can upgrade it to the very highest level, the Cunny Warren. Now, I mean, I don't know, should that have been censored? It's pretty suggestive. I don't know what the devs were thinking with this, but it's pretty entertaining. So this is the line of buildings that gets you spies, and the tavern can go all the way up to the level of the rookery, which will get you your assassins. Both of these are going to be very useful for us because we're going to be wanting to keep our eyes on things, so we'll get going on that. Okay, it looked like I just saw an army moving, or was that an agent? I'm not sure. It looked like it came from Viking territory, and they may have been hitting a rebel province. So we've got another heir coming of age. This is our second heir, which is great. And one way we could lose in this campaign is by having all of our family tree die out. It definitely is possible for that to happen, especially when you're doing the slower kind of turtling campaigns, I find. So here's our heir. Ooh, he looks quite good. He's irritable, which is giving him +1 dread, so that's not a bad thing. He's got 4 dread, 3 command, 2 acumen, just 1 piety, and he's not a drunkard like his older brother, Prince Conan. So, you know, if this guy should die in battle, you know, that might not be the worst thing in the world. I'm going to go ahead and put him someplace safe, relatively, and so that's going to be just back over here in Gwynedd, a little less accessible to these big Mercian stacks. Now, these big stacks look big on paper, but as we've seen, they're mostly peasants. Yeah, they're just training up all the peasants they can. Now, they eventually will be able to train really good stuff. Still no wars going on. I'm going to go back into Sussex to see what moved down here, if that was a Viking emissary or a Viking army. And we're training archers now in Gwent, and that's a +1 bonus to their valor, so very good. I'm going to keep moving them up so I can spread out the archery among our various armies. Okay, Defet, public order is inching upward. And so I think I'm just going to keep going with the fortification line of buildings there. What do we have over here? Yeah, a lot of peasants. So if the Vikings do go to war with either of these English factions, they're probably going to have a pretty easy time. See, Clyde. It would be good, I think, to make this my infantry province. The reason being, down in Gwent, we've got iron. This is obviously going to allow us to make some upgrades to the melee and defense stats of our units, but Gwent is going to be dedicated to archery because of the +1 valor bonus to be had there. So that's fine. We'll use our archers as melee, flankers as well at need. But Clyde is the other one in Wales proper that has iron, and so I'm going to go down the infantry line here. So let's put some money into the drinking hall for our Celtic warriors, and we'll try to focus on getting them out of Clyde. In Powys itself, what we're going to do as soon as this brothel is finished is we're going to switch over to, I think we're going to have to go this route so we can get up to the tier necessary to train our longbowmen. And actually, we might want to go to a royal palace as well so we can get an emissary, as well as train royal bodyguards. Alright, so the English had taken this. Well, we'll just keep moving around. And we are going to have a lot of princesses coming of age, so that's going to be very nice to help us keep an eye on things. One more prince. He'll come of age in about 15 turns or so. Now, one of the reasons I'm keeping these men kind of separate from the others is because traits have a habit of catching in this game. So if you put all of your men together, you can do it, but you want to be somewhat intentional about it. Because if any of these underlings has a negative trait, if that trait increases, it's going to be sort of passed on to the commander, which is our Prince Conan. Now, the other reason is he's kind of disloyal, so I'm going to keep him out in his own separate stack, and we'll have the actual leader of Powys be leading the army there. So it's just useful to keep track of the traits your generals are getting, even if they're not really part of the main stack. All right, it's probably time to do another economy building. I guess we'll make that Cornwall. Actually, Gwynedd might be good. So currently this is getting 325. If we spend 600 florins, that'll get another 60. So we'll make this back in 10 years. On the other hand, we'd also do mines. Might be better. Mines might be better. That's a 5-turn investment return on that. For another archer, and we're going to need to build this so that we can get up to like the armorer and the metalsmith, which are going to be available thanks to the iron deposits there. So that was only 200. We've got another 700 or so we can spend. So in Defet, yeah, let's go with the fortified village. And Christian Shrine there, because we are going to want the morale of those Celtic warriors and other infantry to be pretty good. Eventually, we'll turn that over to armored spearmen. Okay, rebels withdrawing from Cantuaire. So what's going to happen here is you're going to have a pretty large rebel army concentrated in one of those settlements. Okay, Mercians are the strongest. Yep. Yeah, so we got some pretty decent armies here. And probably another one in East Angle. Okay, and now we can just crank out a couple. Let's get full of spies. I want to put them in all of my territories. And then we're going to use them for home defense. They're going to work up experience, and then we're going to gradually send them out into the world. All right, what do we want to do now? I'm very tempted by this, and I think I'm going to do it because this is going to be some serious defense. We can get stone walls here, which means that they're going to only be able to go through a single gate. Currently with this fort, they can attack pretty much any wall with just melee troops. Just kind of hack the wall down eventually. So forts are okay. Alright, magnificent builder, awesome. And, okay, still no wars going on. Alright, we got a couple of princesses here. Let's send them into Mercia and Dara. Alright, and we'll get our spies just spread around a little bit. Okay, here we go. So we can go Armorer, which upgrades armor, Metalsmith, which upgrades weapon +1, but I think this only applies to the melee weapon. So our archers are not going to be better at shooting, they're going to be better at fighting in melee. Not that great, so I'm probably going to lean towards the Armorer upgrades for them. But we'll grab some of this too, because, you know, eventually we're going to be able to train other units out of here. We might throw in a stables just to get some horsemen. You know, it might be good down here is to get an inn. This allows you to recruit mercenaries. And I don't know if we're going to find a lot down there, but if we do, it would be good to quickly and instantly get a bunch of troops from there. Alright, the Viking ships are just appearing and disappearing. Okay, and now we can get Celtic warriors, so I think I will go ahead and do that. But that's all for right now. Alright, Vikings appearing. Mercians are the strongest and the richest, but Vikings just attacked East Angle, which is good. They may get into some conflict with the Mercians. Can I retrain anybody? Not you, but I can retrain you. Why is that? Maybe it's because of that right there, the morale bonus. Very good. Alright, and Defit. Actually, we can crank up taxes there. So what do we want to get out of here? This might be a decent place for cavalry, I guess. Or actually, this might be better for cav. We can alternate cav and archers. Up here, we can alternate infantry types. And this is going to be our sort of dedicated longbow province. So maybe this would make sense to focus on, like, economy and agents. Alright, so we're 99% Catholic, not too worried about the public order at this point. I guess we could go assassins over here. Yeah, let's do that, and then we can get assassins out and around. It might be nice to have the ability to train some. And here, yeah, let's go with the village. Okay, so the Northumbrians have been teching up as well, and they've got a little more impressive roster than what I've seen among the Mercians and the West Saxons. Still a fair amount of peasants, but they've got a decent mix of some archers, some feardmen, some spears, including these armored spears. Again, no wars yet. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is a problem. Armored spearmen, feardmen, a bunch of different generals. The units that they're training at our border look very weak, and so I'm thinking they might be just putting up like a show of force. But over here, the Vikings either withdrew or failed to take it, or just looted it and ran away. But the abbey is still standing, so maybe the rebels won that battle, which is pretty interesting. Go down to Essex just to see what's going on there. And we'll go for another archer. Alright, now, no mercenaries available yet. We'd get a separate sort of panel to select. That's a pretty expensive silver mine complex. Yeah, let's go stables here just so we have the option. And we can build something else in Gwynedd. I think we'll go fortified village there. We can keep moving spies down and around. Okay, there we go with the Vikings again. But it looks like they did take it this time. Interesting. There's their king. The Mercian leader is dead. And Lord Rodri is, yeah, odd number of toes. He's a builder, which is nice for the happiness. Oozes charm, which is bad for dread. Odd number of toes, which is just bad for everything. But I'm not too worried about it. Okay. I just moved out of East Anglia, but the Vikings definitely had control of that province, and it looks like Wessex has all of this. So it looks like there could be a big fight brewing between Wessex and Mercia. We're going to need to get our princesses out and around into that border territory. Let's see what the current Mercian king looks like. He's only got 3 influence, natural leader, and a chinless wonder. That's pretty good. Our influence is actually growing. We've got 5, which is nice. Alright, one more spy, and I think then we'll... Well, actually, we could send our spy down to Cornwall just through here, because the enemy doesn't have border forts yet. And that's the thing. I don't want to build... I don't want to see them building border forts, because, well, that's pretty much death to all my assassins and spies, no matter how good they are. It's very, very unfortunate how that works. Okay, so we do need to keep going on economy. Well, let's go fortified village, though. We'll have to wait for that, because we don't really have any freed up space. We're doing building everywhere else. Alright, Mary is, that's right, princesses can age out. She becomes a spinster at probably, what, 30, 35? Okay, Irish leader wants an alliance. I can't remember how good alliances are in this game. I think they're good if you don't share a land border. If you share a land border, it's not so guaranteed that alliances will hold. So we don't share a land border with the Irish, but on the other hand, I may want to attack them. And I don't think they're going to just randomly attack me. Could be wrong. Alright, so we lost one of our princesses down there. We'll have to keep them moving around. Let's bring her down to, like, Kent. Actually, yeah, both of these guys. Oh, he can be retrained. All right. Okay, and now we could go with some higher tier stuff in Clyde. This would improve the valor of the infantry troops, which, you know what, let's hold off on him. And we'll kind of, maybe we'll get some more tech going. So let's go with Armorer, because our Celtic warriors are pretty weak in terms of defense. Or actually, maybe we should do this so that they're better in terms of offense, because they're going to be fighting a lot of, like, peasants and spears. So if we get that... that offensive ability improved, that would be a big help. On the other hand, this mine would be nice for economy. So I'm kind of tempted to do that instead. Yeah, we'll do the copper mine. It's like your settlements, when you're playing the Welsh, have to do double duty. Okay, so that was 5. Let's go with the armorer in Gwent, though. Help our archers get a little bit buffed. All right, yeah, so this often happens. The Vikings will come down, conquer a province, but then because they're pagans and every place they conquer is mostly Christian, they're going to have a huge uprising. And sometimes this uprising is pretty intimidating. This is pretty decent. It's a half stack of spears, mostly armored, with a 2-star general. So that's kind of cool. They can cause some chaos on the map. The Vikings, though, in this game are not typically like existential threats. So you'll find that they do a lot of raiding when they're led by the AI, but they're not good at settling, mostly because of that, just the public order problems due to the religious differences. Okay, so we're doing economy. Now we can do something more in Pois. Here we go, Bowyer's Workshop. So we can get our Welsh bandits, which is our high-tier longbow-esque units, with a royal court, which means we're going to need to build a royal palace and then the royal court. Just doing the Bowyer's Workshop is going to improve the valor of our archers. So, you know, that's not a bad investment. But I'm wondering if it might make sense to do this first, because it's going to allow us to train emissaries, which can be used for bribery, as well as for alliances and scouting, as well as royal bodyguards. And even if we don't want to train like a new royal bodyguard, we can retrain our heirs and our kings and so on, because these guys don't automatically replenish like they do in the later games. So yeah, we'll do that. That's going to hit our income a little bit. I think that's all we're going to do. We'll keep that princess right there to see what's going to happen if the Vikings come back. Hoping they start a war pretty soon. Okay, middle angle, what were you doing? Okay, there was something going on here because, and there may have been a Viking incursion briefly. Aha! Yes! Mercians and the Vikings are at war. Awesome. Alright, the Mercians are very vulnerable right now because they're not allied with the Saxons or anybody except the Irish. So, if the Vikings do come down and start to cause problems with the Mercians, that would be pretty cool, because I could theoretically take advantage of that. Let's get the princesses over here. And let's get another spy. I don't want to train an assassin just yet. Defit, yeah, let's go with Cav. And down here, we can hire mercenaries. There's a war on, and so this means we can hire mercenaries. Now, mercenaries in this game, there's sort of a relationship between the units that are available on the map and the units that you can train as mercenaries. So if I don't hire these guys, another faction may. And if I disband a unit, that unit may appear as mercenaries for other factions to hire. So you can get mercenaries that are from all over the map, from all sorts of different cultures. So I can get stuff here that I would never be able to train on my own, like gallow glasses, for example, which is pretty cool because this is a sort of a shock Irish troop. Pretty cheap, very bad defense, but irresistible charge, excellent attack, and a bonus versus armor. Similarly, militia sergeants have a bonus versus armored troops, and they've got sort of a better defense. This is a Mercian unit, although extremely anachronistically plate and helmet and everything really kind of bothers me, as well as the gallow glasses, to be honest. This is more of like a late medieval unit. But, you know, it was the early 2000s. You took what you could get in terms of historical accuracy. The mounted nobles are another good one, although the support costs for those are very high. So I don't think I'm going to recruit any mercenaries just yet, but it's nice to know that I could get them if I wanted to. Meanwhile, is there anything I want to build here? I mean, not really. Probably not going to go to war with the Saxons. I'm allied with them. But I wouldn't say no to going to war with the Mercians if I could find a soft target. The problem, of course, is that they've got these big stacks. So I need like a full stack. So that means instead of like finding new things to build, I need to find things that I need to train, basically. So let's go with the Copper Mine Complex, though, because that's going to allow me to train more stuff. Let's go with Celtic Warriors in Clyde. Let's go, we're training a spy there. Let's go with another archer down here. Alright, it looks like they're fighting something up in Mercia. But they won. Okay, the Saxon leader. And the reason I know they won is because... Okay, so the reason I know there was a battle is because of the way they moved. It's hard to sort of see this on video probably, but you can see when the AI makes its moves. If I move my men into my own territory, they just sort of stand up, and that's what they look like. But if I were to move them into an enemy territory, which I'm not going to be able to show actually, they're going to sort of stand up and raise their swords or something. So it's going to be a pretty obvious attack stance, and that's what I saw in Mercia. So yeah, let's bring actually just one archer up. And we'll continue to build up here. We've got 2 up here currently. I don't know if I want to bother with a spearman. Let's see. Let's go with this. We'll go with the metalsmith here now. And the nice thing about here is that I can attack Hwicca, which I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Hwicca? From both of these provinces, Powys and Gwent. So if I get enough... Let's train a cav unit. If I get enough units kind of together, we could make something happen there. I think I'm going to take a turn off from building. Oh, so yeah, the Viking king moved down here into Hwicca. Okay, so the Vikings have decided they cannot win the battle and are retreating. So what's happening now is the Mercians are getting kind of raided, and the Vikings are just kind of traipsing through their territory and probably, you know, destroying some infrastructure, even if they're not really taking the province for very long. But here they just decided to retreat. So hopefully that's screwing up the Mercian economy somewhat. And it's certainly not helping their king's influence to have to withdraw. But yeah, I don't see any abbeys. Although here they got it because they didn't take the province. In Mercia they did. Otherwise I think there would be an abbey here. There is an abbey in Lindisy, but not in Middle Angle. So I'm not sure what was here originally. But it's a good sign that the Mercians are kind of scrambling. But in their wake, they're leaving these big stacks. Let's bring another archer up to the north. And we've got another princess. We can bring her down here. Alright, I don't think I need to see what's going on in Canterbury. So we'll bring the princesses over. Let's keep an eye on East Anglia. Alright, we did have another spy. This is totally without watchtowers, so we should be safe to move into here. And if I can cause some disloyalty, that would be kind of nice. This is a pretty low loyalty province right now. Normal tax is only 128%, and they've got not a lot of units here. If I could get in there, that would be pretty good. Yeah, let's go with another spearman and with another cav unit. So we're starting to mix these units around. Let's actually bring a spear down here. Let's train a cav unit and yet another Celtic warrior. Yeah, we're starting to see a dip in income. So let's see. Money. Relatively cheap sources of money. Well, a gold mine isn't cheap. What are we getting out of farms here? 385. That would get me 460. That's pretty good. Just hope the Vikings don't raid it. Alright, the Vikings moved into Mercia and were kicked out, unfortunately. Yeah, let's move the spy raid in here. We're getting close to kind of a full stack in Clyde. Alright, so let's switch it up. We'll go with an archer unit out of here, just for that extra valor, thanks to the, what is it, the Boyar. Here, yeah, we'll go with a spear unit. I don't think we have any. And down here, we've got, I think, 2 riders. So let's go with a, yeah, let's go with another archer. Looks like a Viking emissary approaching me. Although he doesn't look like he's offering any alliance. So, oh yeah, the Pict leaders offered an alliance. They're at war with the Northumbrians. Now, that is interesting. I'm going to hold off for now. And the Vikings want an alliance. Okay, so my house rules are typically don't accept alliance with the Vikings. Because if you want a boring, peaceful game, that's how you get it. The Vikings are like the best allies ever. They never betray you, typically, if you ally with them, because they don't share land borders with you. So they would just be attacking everybody else. I like the threat of a Viking invasion to be around, so we're not going to accept an alliance with the Vikings. We did get another prince, actually, who just came of age. Let's bring him down here, possibly. Maybe we'll have this guy move down into Gwent. We're getting down to only 500, so we're eating into half our income on upkeep. And we are sort of dipping down in terms of our treasury as well. One more turn for that palace. And yeah, I think if we go with this, that'll help things out. Oh, the Picts are making progress. So this is typically a Northumbrian territory. It's their northern border. The Picts have a southern settlement right here, so they've moved down. The Scots start in Kyle. I'm not sure if anybody has Reggit yet. Okay, the other thing about having a spy in the same province of an AI king is that they can tell you when they're planning to invade, which is very cool. And who they're planning to invade, so we may get warned of an attack. Let's see. We've got so many princesses, which is great. We can keep an eye on things. You can see they're clearly building up on our territory, though. Let's check the diplomacy again. So the Mercians, they picked up an ally in the Picts. So maybe they will be going to war with the Northumbrians pretty soon. So I'm going to get my princess up there to see what's happening in Northumbria, because if, you know, again, if I could take some of this territory, this is making some decent cash. It's actually got some trade, and there's a port. So I could, you know, take this and augment my economy a little bit. Now, in terms of a border, this is that's a terrible move. It just extends my border, but it's, you know, it seems like a more interesting option to me. And anyway, I don't like the idea of going to war with Mercia right now either. Okay, where do I want to bring you guys? We've got a ton of archers, I feel like. Let's bring these guys up to Clyde. The archers can be there. We've got only 3 archers up here, so that'll be a 4th, which feels decent. Let's send this guy up, though. Yeah, you can go right there, and then up to Clyde the next turn. Okay, Conan's often drunk. Maybe he'll get some good traits if I put him on this stack. We'll see. We'll watch his traits, because the Prince of Gwent has some really nice builder, materialist, fervent, educated. That's all good for, like, acumen. All right, 383. Not the best. Do have another unit of horsemen here, and I think that is needed in Pois. All right, but Pois has finished with the royal, what is it, the royal palace, and then the royal court would be next, but we can't afford it. 684 florins is all we have in the bank. I'll go ahead with the keep and curtain wall, though. That's going to change these wooden walls into stone. And then we will have to wait a few turns. A little concerned that the Viking war with Mercia may be over. Okay, maximum is 16 units or 960 men per army. So we've just got too many men in this stack. Well, that's fine. I mean, on the battlefield, I think we can have 16 regardless of numbers. So, okay. Well, that's fine. They're both at decent levels of loyalty. So we'll just continue to move the archers up. And we'll keep the horsemen there. We're 867 florins, and so we got to make a decision. You know, at what point are we going to attack? And where? The best odds are probably against the Northumbrians. They got a lot of peasants. They got these woodsmen. They got a couple feared and a few archers spread throughout, but nothing too intimidating. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers. So if I were to shunt another archer unit up into the north, I don't have any other cav either, so maybe I would do this. Okay. We've got a couple of turns on some economy buildings, and so hopefully that'll help, but otherwise I'm going to take a turn off building and training. Alright, they're attacking Bjornice. Okay, what happened there? No thanks, Irish. Alright, we got to get up here because something big is happening with Northumbria. They just attacked Bjornice, which is like one of their settlements. And they've got tiny, tiny forces in Cumbria. So I have the feeling that this is like their strongest settlement. Which is annoying because it's right on our border, but yeah. Alright, 383. 1,250 though. So what could we build? Well, this is pretty cheap. Let's build this. And then eventually we'll build the royal court, which will allow us to train our Welsh bandits. And again, this campaign, I know this is a lot of end turn and just building. But that's what is fun, because it's like you're rolling the dice. It's like you're letting it ride, you know, what's going to happen. All right, so the Picts have gone down, and they've got a bunch of berserkers. That's interesting. Now, again, I think the way I headcanon this unit is because they reference Odin, and it's sort of got like a Norse background. I sort of imagine that this is not literal Vikings, but this is like some Celtic berserker type. This is like a Pictish fanatical warrior. So that's how I imagine this. They just didn't go to the trouble of writing a new unit description or making new unit art. All right, they're both right here. Well, we'll wait. We're gonna hold on. We're not gonna jump in just yet. We've got a full stack here now, and I think it's decent. Not great, but decent. So what we could do is start buffing some of these units by putting them in the retraining queue. And that's going to be pretty cheap, and it's also going to help them be better than they look. Okay. Mercians want an alliance. You know, yeah. I do want an alliance with you guys because I don't want you screwing with me. Now, the nice thing about allies in this game, there's not many nice things about allies in any Total War games, really. Except the later ones. The diplomacy did get a little more reliable in the later games. But in this game, it's kind of rare, but it is very fun when it happens. If you and an ally are on the battlefield at the same time, your ally will support you in that battle. You have to kind of predict what's going to happen. So right now, the Mercians wanted an alliance with me. Why is that? Is it because they want to go to war with somebody? Is it that they want to go to war with Northumbria? Because they are allied with the Picts, who are at war with the Northumbrians. Now, if they go to war with Northumbria, what may happen is they take these guys and move them into Pecks. What I could do is move my guys in right now and hope that the Mercians invade at the same time. If they do, they'd help us on the battlefield. What you have to do to win control of the province in such a scenario is to have more men left on the battlefield at the end of the battle. So it becomes a game of trying to let your ally do the work and take a bunch of losses. Now, I don't think I'm ready to attack Northumbria yet. Well, I probably am, to be honest, because I don't think they have much of anything. All right, I'm gonna risk one more turn, and I'm gonna see what they have in Elmet and Dara. I don't think it's much, but if it's like a lot, they could move it in here, and that could screw up my invasion. So I'm going to bring, you know what? Let's bring Prince Iago along, and let's move King Caradoc out somewhere else. How old is he, by the way? 62. Wow. Okay. So the reason I'm moving him out is because the king always takes command. And I'd rather have him down here, and I'd rather have his 5-star general son do the fighting, because he's a better fighter, I would say. All right. Let's wait one more turn. That means we can train or retrain one more unit in terms of giving them some upgrades. And so let's make it a Celtic warrior. Well, actually, let's just train one. Just straight up train it, and then we'll have even more numbers to throw in. All right. Any building? We've got 1,600. This is going to be done next turn. Let's go with the armorer, I guess. All right, the king came back. Now, if I had invaded that turn, there might be a chance. Uh-oh. Spy has been caught and killed by enemy bodyguards. All right. There might be a chance that we would force them off and just force them to withdraw, because the king is a lot of times very shy about sticking around in a battle where he's outnumbered or outmatched. And so I think we outmatch them. Even though they have more units than we do, I think our units are better. I don't know. This feels like it might be a tough one. So yeah, let's do it. I've no longer any idea what happened in Mercia. Was it because they had a border fort built, or did they have a counter spy of their own? Not sure, but let's invade. They don't have much else. They've got, you know, some units here in Elmet, and they do have Saxon Huscarls there. And over here in Dara, but all of their big infrastructure was up here in the north, I'm willing to bet. So yeah, what we're going to do is go to war with Northumbria. We'll take everybody. I think we're going to leave, like, what's the worst unit? Probably this spearman unit, but no, what we'll do is we'll move this spearman unit over. We're still good in terms of public order everywhere else. And I want to do some training just in case. We'll get a Celtic warrior over here. We'll get a spearman down here. And in Gwynedd, we can't train anything. So maybe we'll go ahead and get a blacksmith just so that we could train spearmen. All right, let's see what happens here, because are they going to stick or are they going to withdraw? All right, the king is still there. There's a chance. No, I think the king did leave. It's the prince who's going to be fighting. Okay, so here we get to rearrange our reinforcements a little bit. I don't know why that black screen is showing up there. But in any case, we can see that they have left their kind of crappiest units as reinforcements. They got just peasants coming on. So this is really the army that we have to worry about. 5 archers. We've got 6. So we out-archer them. Our archers have much better valor than theirs, and a couple of them have armor upgrades. We've got 3 spears, and they've got, in terms of spear type units, they've got 3. And theirs are going to be better, but one of them is chewed up. In terms of other infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Celtic warriors. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we've got this. So let's just jump into the battle. Okay, here we are on the battlefield. I'll get rid of this radar map. And it looks fairly open. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to be set up. It might be up there. All right, fine throughout the day. Yep, we'll attack. We'd have the archer advantage. Oh, good, we've got the high ground. Haha, alrighty. So, the game has deployed our archers at the back and our infantry at the front. We've got spearmen in the center, 1 unit of spearmen on the wings, and then the rest is just a line of howling Celtic warriors. And I think that's pretty good for what we want to do. Only 1 unit of cav, and it's our Prince Iago. So, we'll just set them up here. I think the AI is just going to be down, yeah, pretty much just down there. I don't know if they're going to try to steal any high ground. Now, I forgot to rearrange my reinforcements. One thing I could have done was sort of shuffled the order of my reinforcements around, so I did forget to do that. I don't think it'll make much difference, though, because I think I'll be able to win with what I've got. But what we can do is you click the reinforcements button, and you can decide where they are going to assemble. Now, right now, the assembly point is way back there. I think I want to move that flag over here, so they're going to know to come out and pretty much assemble here. But I can only bring on reinforcements once the battle has reduced some of my units to 0, or they've routed or withdrawn off the field. I think I can get into a position where I can still shoot them without them being able to hit me. But let's bring the archers up, actually. Okay. This is good. Their woodsmen are coming on. This is a 2-handed axe unit. But they're very, very low tier. So we'll rush them with our Celtic warriors and see how this fight goes. Yeah, losing badly. Very good. Going to keep these guys kind of in the wings, and they're routing already. Let's keep that charge going. If we can eliminate those feared men, that'd be pretty nice. Yeah, the feared men now are winning. Alright, we need to get a nice downhill charge into that other unit, and we're going to be flanking them here. They've only got 1 cav unit too. Winning slightly. Alright, they're holding back. Yes, I love that sound. The horn of the enemy routing to call the retreat. That's just beautiful. Okay, now what we want to do is have you halt. Have you all halt. And we're going to get you back. Let's see. Do they keep their position? I can't remember. But let's pull them back like up here. Whoops. Shh. Oh no. This is going to be a disaster. If I let go of this mouse. Can I undo this? They're going to reconfigure. Okay, everybody just stop. Okay, we'll set these guys up like here. Everybody's reconfiguring stupidly now. Let's get all the archers. Tell you, let's take them out of group. There we go. That's a bit more reasonable. Get all of our Celtic warriors right behind the archers. Get our spearmen, I guess, over here. So we'll just undo all of these groups. So that first assault went really well. We took out, I think, 2 units of their fearedmen and 1 of their woodsmen. And now the challenge will be approaching them because they're on kind of the higher ground. And they're going to be able to shoot at us a little bit. But we should be able to do a lot of damage to these woodsmen. Some of these guys are actually shooting at us. So we've got to focus on... Well, actually, we can take care of this unit pretty easily. This guy's a great warrior. He's got that trait which gives him... I think it's extra hit points. Can't remember. It's not Valor because his Valor's 2. It's not great Valor. Okay, we are losing this archer duel, I'm afraid. So let's bring our Celtic warriors up. And we're going to run them. Bring the spearmen up to follow. And I think I can bring my cavalry around here to kind of push the enemy archers as well. Not too worried with what they have left. They got some fearedmen. It's a chewed up 63 strong unit. They got some woodsmen, which can be good against armor, but our guys don't have a lot of armor, so that's the thing. You can't you can't worry me with your anti-armor attack because our guys are shirtless. I'm going to chase off the archers with these Celtic warriors now. They're going to get into a bit of trouble with these units that are going to come down. So let's get this group of archers, you and you. Bring you up, and you guys are not firing at anything right now. Bring you up to support because I'm a little concerned about how this is going to go, actually. Alright, good. Good sound. Awesome. Alright, and that's why the spearmen are over here, because the enemy general is going to come. Look, they're just running before us. There's our general. He's going to come over here. You go ahead and attack those peasants. You can go attack the royal bodyguards. And you guys can get up here to assist. 7. Okay, our Celtic warriors are actually doing pretty good against these guys. They're not really built for anti-cavalry stuff, but they're doing well. Alright, now the reinforcements are going to continue to come. So we have to be aware of that, but they're going to be like all peasants. So what we can do is actually just get our archers set up like here. Get our spearmen set up near the top of the hill with the Celtic warriors ready to move in support. We'll keep you kind of back. Alright, so they're coming right over here. They're running away. This is the reinforcements. Right. They did have a... Okay, now they're fleeing the field. So this means that their reinforcements are just coming on and withdrawing. Okay, awesome. So we got the town. All right. Pretty straightforward battle there. Now, we do have the warrior hold besieged. But we got 496 cash. Awesome. So we got some ransom going on there because we didn't slaughter the units that we'd captured. And we lost another princess to old age, so to speak. Saxons are the richest. We get another heir. And a treaty is canceled. Oh no! The Saxons. The Wessex has canceled our treaty. Okay. Well. Alright, Prince Iago is a skilled attacker. +1 command when attacking from that assault. Awesome. And we got a Prince Idwal with pride, which is a mixed bag. So that's -2 command and -2 acumen, but +3 to valor. So this makes him a good warrior, but not a good leader. And he also is a great warrior. So that's, +5 to health. So I think that's like hit points. Okay, great. So we've made some progress here. We have built up, and we did our first attack against a proper faction, and I think this is going to be pretty much the end of Northumbria. We could try for peace with them if we wanted, but I think at this point it makes sense to kind of keep going. We'll head up to Cumbria here, some more good iron resources and copper. We can get into Elmet for some even more iron, and we can get some nice trade going theoretically across the Irish Sea, and then we can establish our realm over here. That's kind of the plan for the next time. So thank you very much for sticking with this series, folks, and I hope to join you in the next episode. Until then, take care.